In 2017, production began on a movie called Magic Camp. It was set to enter theatres in 2018, but then was dumped on Disney Plus in 2020. In mid-2023, Magic Camp was removed from Disney Plus and thrown into Disney's rubbish bin, Amazon Prime. So let's take a walk and experience the wacky world and production hell of Magic Camp together. Okay, let's pull down my TV screen so we can get started. We then open up on our main camper, Theo, performing card tricks in his room. Theo's mom comes in with a package from the Institute of Magic. And can I just say, I'm not calling that the whole video. I'm going to join Theo's mom and call it Magic Camp, because it's just a whole lot easier than the Institute of Magic. Also, how does Magic Camp afford to give every single person they accept an acceptance package with a custom tablet in there? Like, what's the budget of this camp? Anyway, we find out that Theo has been accepted into Magic Camp, and since he thinks it's his father who had signed him up, he reluctantly attends. We then jump from Theo to our main camp counselor, Andy, who's played by Adam Devine. Does this guy only play people called Andy or something? He also played Andy in Modern Family. But anyway, currently we see him as a washed up, once promising magician who's currently a taxi driver. We also see Andy as a kind heart, since he basically gives a free taxi drive to an old woman who has lost her money. Roy Preston, the owner of Magic Camp, then appears in Andy's taxi, somehow. No one sees him get in. Andy doesn't even know he's in there. And he is a magician, he's meant to know the secrets. But anyway, Andy's not fully sure about this move, until Roy performs a trick cementing Andy's decision. And let's just say, it made me go, wow. Now I'm going to introduce you to all the other campers. And the first one we meet is a camper named Nathan. He has 109 allergies and has the world's most helicopter parents I have ever seen. Play the standard Disney Channel geek. Our third and fourth campers are now introduced. The first is Ruth, who is obsessed with rabbits. And I mean obsessed with rabbits. As she says, bunny love is a way of life. Vera, the fourth camper introduced, and just destroys Ruth's joy. I mean, just listen to her.
I love bunnies too. They're delicious.
Side note, Vera has a very memeable laugh as well. But Vera is basically our resident emo at Magic Camp. We are now introduced to our final camper that speaks in the Heart's Cabin, since there's about 5 other campers who just don't say a thing. But anyway, his name is Judd, and he's the son of world-renowned musician in the universe, Cornelius Kessler. There isn't really much we know about him yet, other than his dad being obsessed with a bow tie. In the next scene, we see Janelle, and she is the first camper we're introduced of the Diamond's Cabin. She is someone with relatively absent parents, and as a chauffeur who acts parent-like. We are also foreshadowed that she has a knack for escaping camps. To be honest, it ends up becoming the only thing we really know about her and her past. Now we also see Theo staring at Janelle, or the bush in the back, we're not quite sure, but I think it's Disney heavily hinting on Theo's love interest. Also, this popcorn dude actually has telekinesis. Like, where are the wires? Where are they coming from? Does he have a crane above him? I don't know, but is Magic Camp secretly just undercover for the X-Men mansion? We then cut to the Roy Preston pre-memorial theatre, where we are introduced to the other camp counsellors, but they're not important at all to the story. In fact, there may as well just be 2 teams, or 3 if David Blaine manages to make his way out the ice. Also, when Christina Darkwood performs a mind-reading trick, Andy says that 80% of people choose Jonas Salk as who they dream to be when they're older. Who has ever chosen Jonas Salk? What is Jonas Salk? I know he created the polio vaccine. We learned from a very passive-aggressive Andy that he's won the Golden Wand
3 times! Boom!
Character introduction to Vic. He's the bully at Magic Camp. And I mean, how do you even become the bully of Magic Camp? Like, why aren't you picking on yourself? You're all doing magic. You're all at Magic Camp. Be friends. Anyway, Theo does a trick and gets stage fright, which means Vic has to do his trick, which, because he's the bully, ends up with Theo getting water poured over him. But has he won the golden wand?
3 times. Boom!
The campers then go to their cabins, and we find out that the Hearts have no clue how to perform any tricks. However, Andy does see Theo doing some card tricks. Now, these card tricks may become crucial in the future. Now, while Theo is lying awake, we get our first flashback to his dad, and we see how Theo learnt his first trick. And I just want to say, these flashbacks are actually quite refreshing for a Disney movie, since it allowed us to learn a lot about our main protagonist, without just being told through conversations in a boring room, or like Theo talking to Nathan on the top bunk to the bottom bunk, and that kind of stuff. Also, the lighting in this room is crazy, like it's just a constant sunrise. Can I get this in my little cinema here? Probably not. Next thing to learn is close-up magic. And I think now is the perfect time to mention how good the magic has been in this movie so far. Like, Theo's actor, Nathaniel Logan McIntyre, clearly put some time into learning these tricks instead of just using a hand double, which would have been the easy option. I mean, I genuinely thought that ball was going to appear in his left hand, but that thing stayed in his right hand. Andy then goes to talk to Roy about how his campers are basically useless, which is kind of crazy since he has seen Theo doing card tricks and close-up magic. But anyway, he talks to Roy and they have a little argument, and Andy's like, I'm gonna go back home. You're gonna have to find a camp counselor. But anyway, Andy goes back to the camp to pack up his stuff, which is when he sees Theo performing his card tricks, and specifically sees him perform a perfect one-handed Pharaoh shuffle, which is one of the hardest one-handed shuffles in Magic. This is when Theo's stage fright is finally confirmed, and we find out that he can beat it if he feels comfortable. Andy now calls a team meeting, and starts saying that they may have a shot at the top hat and the golden wand. We then go back to the stables to see if we can start igniting the magic again. But Ruth lets all the bunnies out, so the campers have to go searching for them. And now we have to see the most awkward interaction between Theo and Janelle. And this conversation doesn't really set anything up, and is disappointing because it doesn't change the Disney formula at all. We just find out that, as usual, Janelle's quite good at escaping. Andy then starts training the Hearts in all their different skills. We also get shown a bit more of Andy's backstory and learn that Christina Darkwood took a meeting with a magic agent behind his back, and that is why he hates her so much. And I understand that that's a bit mean of Christina Darkwood to do that to Andy, but sometimes you just got to think about your own career and not everyone else's around you, because Andy was probably holding her back. The final part of everyone mastering their skills is Theo getting over his stage fright. Since he has the skills, he just can't perform them in front of people. And the way they did it was through hitting him with paintballs and making funny noises around him. And I'm thinking, how does that even get you over your stage fright? Like, surely being able to perform in front of your friends won't help you with stage fright, even if it grows your confidence. But what do I know, because Theo's confidence is clearly being built through this, because a minute later, he mocks Vic using magic, and even manages to rage bait Vic into having a crash out. However, Vic burns his cards, which is a big no-no in Magic Camp, even though both the counselors do absolutely nothing. The fact Vic is also never punished for this, and still gets to compete in the top hat and all the other competitions, is crazy. Like, you'd think that would be grounds for just kicking him out the camp. Just when everything was going great for the Hearts, they find out that all their props have been checked out by the Diamonds, leaving them to travel on a little field trip to the town, which apparently they're just allowed to do, with no permission. The Hearts perform a few tricks, and the one that stands out to me is Nathan's. Because how does he know the exact weight of these jelly beans? There's no way he could have known it. I don't care how smart he is, he can't know it. And he needs to be hired by the government or Professor Xavier. Andy and Christina suddenly make up now, and she offers him a show in Vegas, which he takes and performs excellently, and gets him a spot on that night's show. However, this leads to the Heart not having a camp counselor, and without Andy, Theo gets extremely nervous and won't perform. Now we have the competition, where the campers have to compete for the top hat and the gold wand. The first performance that I'm going to talk about is the Vix, and he enters with a WWE style entry, which is pretty crazy. The budget for this Magic Camp is once again higher than anyone I've ever seen. And he roasts his assistant, which is really mean since they're the ones actually doing the work. Vic does absolutely nothing other than push these spikes. So, who's the real magician, Vic? Who's the real magician? In between these performances, Theo also learns that his mom is the one who sent in his application to Magic Camp. And once again, look at this picture. I know it's a emotional scene for his mom, but look at the lighting. But this really helps Theo understand that his family does understand him and understand what he actually enjoys. And this may or may not give him the strength to perform. I guess we'll have to find out. Nathan then harnesses his superpowers and guesses things he just shouldn't be able to know. He spells elephant backwards, from knowing someone's time they had the first kiss, someone's locker code, passwords. How does he know this? Someone needs to stop him before he becomes too powerful. You know what, I might just call the government myself.
911, what's your emergency?
Nathan's gone crazy!
How would I spell that?
Next up's performance is Janelle, and her performance is just a simple escape act, or at least she makes it look simple. But more importantly, why is Nathan her assistant? These people aren't in the same cabins. They're competing. Nathan has never interacted with Janelle. It makes sense if Theo was her assistant, but he's not here. Nathan, what are you hiding? To save us from Nathan, Theo comes out and does an amazing card trick, where he turns a deck of cards into hearts for his mom. Andy also returns, but it turns out this was all part of his plan to help Theo, to show him that he could perform without his help. Subvert your expectations. I think that's the word. Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen. The results are now in. The hearts win the top hat, and Janelle wins the golden wand, which I personally don't understand. Theo should have won it. Oh wait, no, sorry. Nathan should have won it. Nathan is a mutant. How did he even do his performance? I don't know. Maybe he cheated and that's why he can't win the golden wand. But I'm not going to argue. I'm not a magician. I will leave that to Roy Preston. Andy now becomes the director of Magic Camp, which is great for him. And I'm sure this was going to be the plot for Magic Camp 2, which is never going to happen. Never. Ever. Vic also gives Theo his cards back. Turns out he was a good magician and can bring stuff back. He was just evil. An evil man. If this was the WWE, he would be Vince McMahon. Okay, maybe not, but you know. We now, because it's a Disney movie, have our final kiss between Theo and Janelle, and the chauffeur gives the best reaction. I'll play the clip.
Oh, she went for it. Just too aggressive.
So, why did Magic Camp fail? Magic Camp isn't a bad movie, or it's most certainly not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. And I think if it went into cinemas in 2018, it would have most certainly made money for Disney. I think the main reason it failed was due to some certain allegations given to the person that played Roy Preston, and that meant it couldn't be released in theaters. Also, critics hated this thing, hated it. And they have a lot of power to make people not enjoy something. I mean, it by no way is a perfect movie, but if you have an extra couple hours, I would recommend you check it out on wherever you can find it these days. It's not on Disney Plus anymore. It is on Prime Video. Maybe I'll disappear for another couple months, couple years. Or maybe I'll have a video on Lemonade Mouth coming out soon. Or Descendants. I guess you'll have to find out. Subscribe.